Well, joining me now, CBSN political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns is here to discuss all of this. So you've got Northam, you've got Fairfax, and you've got Herring. These are the top leaders in Virginia. If all of them resign or go, what happens?
Well, this is a wild story. So the line of succession in Virginia is that if the governor has to go, then it goes to the lieutenant governor, which is Fairfax. If he has to go, it goes to the attorney general, which is Herring. And if Herring is unable to do it, then it goes to the Speaker of the House of Delegates. Now, that speaker is a Republican. And the reason it's a Republican is because, remember last year, or in 2017, when there was a draw, the House of Delegates came down to one single race. And there was a lot draw out of a bowl, which determined that Republicans held control of the the Virginia House of Delegates. So a Republican would be the fourth in line of succession, according to these rules.
Okay, so do you get the sense that they can survive this? Who can survive this? Can anybody?
It's really difficult because, you know, this has been going on since for nearly a week. And Mark Herring released a statement last week saying that Northam had to resign because of that photo that surfaced last week. And so he's already out there setting the bar really for himself. And then Fairfax, you know, this idea of sexual assault allegations, Democrats as a national party have tried to claim the moral high ground on this issue, going back to the ousting of Al Franken right ahead of the Alabama special election with Roy Moore, wanting to claim that moral high ground there. They've made it kind of a non-starter in all cases. The Kavanaugh hearings, of course, were a big show of that. So Democrats are kind of now in this position where they have all of this kind of scandal involving race and sexual assault allegations that they have been talking about and trying to come out on as kind of champions on this issue, now are put in a very difficult position.
You know what's weird, Caitlin? You would expect something like this in October, leading up to an election. It's February now. What do we know about the website Big League Politics that leaked this? Do we know who's behind this?
Right. Well, it's a website that's related to Breitbart, which is conservative, kind of alt-right conservative website. But what's really interesting here is, remember, the scandal around Northam really started at the beginning of last week over that late-term abortion bill, which he had difficulty describing and described in really crass and coarse terms. And that engendered a huge national debate, really, and Republicans certainly seized on those comments. Then a couple days later, the photo from his medical school yearbook surfaced. So this is a story that's really developing very quickly and has multiple angles.
And what's interesting is for Northam, his former he's got 9 people from that medical school where that yearbook appeared supporting him, saying he's not the guy in blackface. But yet you've got the Democratic senators, Warner, Tim Kaine, coming forward saying you've got to step down at this point.
Right. Well, the medical school classmates, I mean, this was a medical school yearbook that, whether he was in the photo or not, it was published by the medical school in that yearbook. So you can take what you can from that. You know, it's really interesting to hear from Mark Warner, who was talking to reporters today. Alan He, our Senate reporter, captured on video, and he looked just very distraught. He was coming out of a meeting and had just kind of learned about the latest development, which involves Mark Herring. And he said, you know, obviously this is an understatement, but Virginia is not having a good week, to say the least. And Virginia has been a really interesting state to watch politically because it's shifted from red to blue so quickly. Just in 2008, when Obama won the state, Tim Kaine, now Senator Tim Kaine, declared Old Virginia dead, and they thought this was a really big step forward for Virginia. Democrats did. Obama was reelected, of course, and Hillary Clinton won the state last time around, and it's since shifted. The Democratic governor is a good example of that. So the politics here, Democrats have always pointed to Virginia the last couple of years, saying, look, this is kind of where things are going. This certainly complicates that message.
So an important state for both parties in 2020.
Absolutely.
Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.